Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm Mark. Welcome into the Bettor Mark, and let's talk some March Madness as we fill out the bracket of integrity. I'm going to be doing it for you guys live on this stream. So make sure you guys all stick around to the end. We'll go through the entire field, right? The entire bracket. This is the first one. This is my bracket of integrity. We're going to go over a lot of the trends that you guys need to know before you get into March Madness. Okay, but first, let's take care of some business. Make sure you guys all subscribe down below. Smash that like button as well. And if you have not yet done so, put those comments down below. Who is winning the big dance, right? I want to know your guys' thoughts, and let's get down into it, okay? All right, so first, let's go over these trends. Now, these are something where I'm going to go off the cuff. I'm going to give you a lot of the factoids that's happened, some recent historical trends that you guys absolutely have to know before you fill out your bracket, and carry this with you as you guys are making your bets against the spread, totals, so on and so forth, straight up winners, because these are ones that have been prevalent in recent years, and it's going to be absolutely necessary to have success come this tournament, okay? First, out of the last 11 out of 12 tournaments within the first 4 games, one of those contestants has reached the second round, okay? And this is something where recently UCLA in 2021 and VCU in 2011 have reached the Final Four, so keep that in mind, all right? Next, the first and second round, we're going to talk about a 15 seed has won a first-round game in 3 consecutive years, okay? And all 3 went on to the Sweet 16 as a result as well, most notably Princeton, St. Peter's, and Oral Roberts, okay? Out of the last 5 tournaments, 14 of the 20 matchups between the number 4 and 13 seeds were decided by single digits, so that'll be very useful in handicapping against the spread between the 4s and the 13s, okay? And that's where we get into the 13 seeds have also won 1 game in 27 of the last 38 tournaments. Fascinating stuff in that regard, okay? At least one top 4 seed has lost in the first round in 14 of the past 15 tournaments. Now, that's interesting, okay? And if we're going to break down the 1 seeds. We're going to look at those 1 versus 16 matchups. Some of them have yet to be announced because of those play-in games, but that's one where we're going to carry it with us. And this probably is the year, and we fill out our brackets every single year, and we look at them and go, oh my gosh, the 1 seeds, there's no way they can lose that game. Well, it's happened last year. Look at Purdue, okay? So will that happen again? That's yet to be determined, but we're going to get down into it even further, okay? At least one 12 seed has defeated a number 5 seed in 32 of the 38 tournaments, all right? But this is one that's been slipping according to recent trends. In the second round, number 3 seeds suddenly are doing extremely well against the number 6 seeds, 22-5 against 6 seeds since 2008, all right? And then we get into the Sweet 16. A double-digit seed has advanced to the Sweet 16 in 15 straight tournaments, 36 of 38 overall. So that's very, very important to understand because we will have double-digit seeds in the Sweet 16. That's pretty much a given, all right? Last year, Princeton was a 15 seed, and they were the only double-digit to reach the second weekend, okay? Number 11 seeds have played the Cinderella role. That's where we've seen one 11 seed reaching the Sweet 16 in 7 of the past 9, okay? And we've seen multiple 11 seeds make it to the second weekend in 5 of the last 12 tournaments, all right? And then we're going to get into some more that jump out at the page at me, okay? All number 2 seeds, so all 4 number 2 seeds have reached the Sweet 16 just twice in the past 26 tournaments. So 24 of the last 26 tournaments, we have had at least one number 2 seed falling, all right? At least 2 teams seeded number 6 or worse have reached the Elite 8 in each of the past 3 tournaments, and 6 out of the last 7. That's a very fascinating metric when we look into this trend within 2 seeds more than number 6 and lower in ranking, okay? In the Final Four, okay, last year was a very special one as we saw 0 number 1 seeds in last year's Final Four. And it's important to understand that Connecticut was a 4 seed and having probably one of the most impactful and fascinating historical runs in a March tournament, okay? One team seeded 7th or worse has reached the Final Four in 9 of the past 10 tournaments. That's something very fascinating, okay? It's been 32 years since a number 6 seed has made the Final Four. That's the longest drought for a 6 seed that has had a Final Four appearance, okay? And this is one where it's going to directly impact a lot of the seeds because that's where we've seen, for the likes of Iowa State, one of the hotter teams in the field, okay? of the 36 teams that were seeded in the top 2 and in the AP top 10 after ending the season unranked, none have reached the Final Four. So we're going to use that with Iowa State. It'd probably have a play against them in this tournament. All right, the championship, the final round. There's not been a repeat champion since Florida in 2007. I have a futures bet, full disclosure, with Connecticut, plus 550 that I was able to get them. I'm not sure exactly what the futures are for UConn, but they have been the overall, probably the best, most consistent team in the field in terms of dominance in that number 1 spot. Ken Palm has them firmly ranked number 1 as well. Okay. No defending champ since 2007 has advanced past the Sweet 16. Okay. Fascinating stuff. And this is probably one that's going to help with some of the 2, 3, and 4 seeds. No team has ever won the national championship after losing its first game in the conference tournament. So notably, that's going to be Tennessee, Creighton, Kentucky, Duke, Kansas, and Alabama. Okay. So basically get them out of the mix for that national championship. That's going to help do your bracket as well. As much as I love Tennessee, I kind of have to agree with all of those teams in terms of losing their conference tournament and not having a chance at the big dance. All right. So that's pretty much all the ones that jump out on the page of me. There's a ton of them. These were courtesy of ESPN. So if you want to see it, I'll put go search, do a on ESPN.com onto their bracketology page. You can find all of these if you want to do a deeper dive. Okay, and that's where we're going to look into the final glaring thing that has said to me from these factoids that are jumping out. Okay. 34 years since a champion came from a conference that has received fewer than 4 bids. So that's going to be UNLV, and that was when that happened. But this year it's going to be UConn, Marquette, and Creighton. Okay, so take it for what it's worth. All right, but we're going to get down into it, and let's get into my first and my only, because I only do one bracket of integrity right here on the channel. So let's get down into it. Guys, before we get into it, make sure you all subscribe down below. And also on my page on X, I'm going to have it pinned in the comment. This is where we're going to be doing our live giveaway for that jersey courtesy of Fanatics.com. I'm going to pull it up on your screen so you guys can see exactly what I'm talking about. And we're looking at this giveaway. This is one where all you have to do is subscribe on YouTube, follow me on X, heart and retweet this pinned comment on my X page, and I will know that you're in the tournament and enter to win that jersey shipped directly to you from Fanatics.com. Okay, but let's get into it. This is one where we've all been waiting for. This is my bracket. We're going to be filling out the bracket of integrity, and we're going to breeze through a couple of the easy ones, and then we're going to get into some of the previews and go into the more nitty-gritty when we get into these tougher games. But off the cuff, UConn, they're going to beat Stetson. Okay, and then next we're going to get into just basically take care of business. We're going to do this region by region. We're going to go down the list, all right, and I'm going to just kind of go in the way that's going to be most easy, going down, and then over, and then eventually we'll reach the Final Four and crown a champion in my bracket, okay? Because as you guys all know, within my brackets, I get 100% success rate with picking every single game in the NCAA tournament. Just kidding. But shout out to anybody that can do that. They say the odds in that are like, I think, winning the lottery twice and getting struck by lightning twice. So fascinating stuff. Okay. But this is what we're looking at the next one, FAU Northwestern. Okay. I'm going to stick with Northwestern. Okay. Little 9/8. I like the way Northwestern was playing. And this would be a way to get away from that coveted rematch, right, with FAU and UConn that we were able to see last year in, I think, the Final Four. Okay, San Diego State UAB, 5-12. That's one where UAB has been a hot team. San Diego State, though, is a very fascinating team, but we're going to go with UAB. That'll be the first 12, knocking off a number 5 for me. Okay, that's probably going to be a popular play across the board. Okay, Auburn, Yale. Yale's a very good team, but they're just going to be a little bit outranked, outmatched. Auburn's playing very, very well. Okay, so Auburn getting it done as a 4. BYU, Duquesne. This is an interesting one for sure. All right, one where we like BYU in this contest, so we're going to be taking the 6 over the 11. Illinois, Morehead State. All right, Illinois having a very successful run in the Big Ten tournament. Morehead State, I believe, will not have John Morant, so we're going to actually have to go with another 3 seed in this one. Okay, so we're going to be taking the Illini over Morehead State. All right, Washington State and Drake. That's an interesting one. Okay, that's a very interesting one. A buddy of mine has Washington State with a huge futures bet. One where they've had a kind of a different run in the second half of the season, and Drake is a very, very solid option. Okay, and that's where we're going to be taking Drake, upsetting the number 7 seed. I really do like Drake in this matchup. Okay. Iowa State, that's a definite over South Dakota State. All right, and that basically does it for our first round of 64. So moving south, okay, we're going into the West region. North Carolina, we're going to take them over the playing game. All right, and it's kind of be a play on the odds. I'm not willing to jeopardize my bracket trying to pick a 1 seed that's going to upset a 16 seed. So we're pretty much going to go with all the 1 seeds. And if you shout out to anybody who's able to call that, despite the fact that not all 4 have won historically. Okay. Next, Mississippi State, Michigan State. We're going to stay with the SEC. I really do like Mississippi State in this contest. All right, St. Mary's, Grand Canyon. That's going to be a very exciting 12-on-5. St. Mary's a very strong team, but Grand Canyon, I really do like what they're able to do. They've had some success in the tournament, and they're playing hot ball right now. Okay, it's two contrasting styles. St. Mary's lights it up. Very different style of basketball, and one where Grand Canyon is probably one of the more underrated physical, athletic teams in the field. We're going to take another upset. We're going 12/5 in this one as well. Okay, Alabama, Charleston. Charleston is a very good team. I really like Alabama. I'm not sure if this is going to be something where we get an upset, but I'm going to lock in with Alabama, and I'm really looking forward to the potential of that Grand Canyon-Alabama matchup in that contest. Okay. Next, Clemson, New Mexico. Okay, this is one where I see some excitement with this one. We're going to be taking New Mexico over Clemson. I think this is one of those 6-on-11s where just due to how it's seeded, it's not a true representation of who's the better team. Okay. Next, Baylor, Colgate. Obviously, we're going to take Baylor over the 14 seed, and then that's going to lead us to Dayton, Nevada. We're going to end up taking Dayton in this contest, 7 seed winning. Okay, and this is one where Dayton is that kind of that name that we like in postseason play. Long Beach State playing very, very well. This could be one of those 15 seeds that we take over an Arizona squad, or Arizona could end up winning by 25. But I'm going to go on a limb here, okay? I'm going to go with the Beach. 15 seed upsetting a 2 seed. You got to take some chances here. And Long Beach State is going to be that team that I see possibly getting into the next round. And I'm just going to kind of give way into it. And we're going to take the Beach advancing 2 rounds into the Sweet 16, okay? And then we're going to work our way up on the other side of the bracket, all right? And we're going to be taking Tennessee over St. Peter's. That's a team that I really like. I like the fact, actually, they lost in the SEC tournament, kind of primed for a big run now, getting that loss out of the way, all right, and refocused. Next, Texas, okay, and this is going to be a playing game against UVA and CSU, and Texas is one of those squads that they definitely can ball. UVA treading in opposite directions. This would be one where I look for CSU to actually have this win over UVA. But even if they are able to do that, we're still going to take Texas in that spot. Creighton against Akron. I do like Creighton. Surprising little factoid I found out about Creighton is the 3 seeding that they've had as a 3 seed. That's tying their program's highest, okay? So Creighton's had a lot of run, a lot of success in March, and I was just shocked to see that Creighton was never a 2 seed or even a 1, all right? Next, South Carolina, Oregon. I like taking the Ducks. We're going to take the Ducks over South Carolina, 11/6. Kansas, Samford. This is one where Kansas is banged up, all right? They're missing a lot of talent. It's going to be interesting to see who actually can play. Let's pull up this preview here and see McCullough and Hunter Dickinson, see if they're able to play. We'll be looking at some question marks with their health because they missed the Big 12 tournament, like I said. But we're still going to go, as much as I do like Samford, it's one where I think Kansas does prevail. It's just a class play. But if those two are unable to suit up, I would like to switch that to Samford. So let's get some more info on them and see if they're able to go in that contest, because I would be looking to take Samford in this matchup. Okay. Next, Gonzaga versus McNeese. Now this is very interesting. Okay. And I really had the opportunity to watch McNeese play a lot this season, 30-3 on the season. And this is one where it's kind of fascinating to me. I know Gonzaga has been trending up recently, but we're going to keep it going. I think McNeese can get it done against another 5, so we're going to be taking McNeese in that contest. All right, Utah State, TCU. All right, very fascinating game. We're going to stay within the Big 12 and take TCU upsetting Utah State. I think Utah State actually might even be favored in this contest. That's why I say upset despite the seed indifference. Okay, Purdue, we're going to go with them. Give them another shot. They make it out of the first round of 64. And then up the bracket, we're going to continue this on. Marquette over Western Kentucky. All right. And this is one where I do like Florida a lot. They got that loss out of the way, okay? And just going to give you guys a precursor. We are going to take Florida to even go on and beat Marquette as a 7. All right. Kentucky over Oakland. That's one where we're going to be riding with the Wildcats, Texas Tech, NC State. This is a real tough one. NC State had to win 5 games to take home the ACC tournament. Texas Tech can ball, though. All right, so it'll be interesting to see if NC State continues their run. I like the guy they have down low, able to shoot the 3. Let's see if they can keep that running. But I do worry about their legs, so I'm going to be taking Texas Tech in this matchup. Okay, Duke, Vermont. All right, that's one where Duke is definitely a question mark for me. All right, I don't necessarily know enough about Vermont to be betting against Duke, so we're going to go with the Blue Devils. Okay. Wisconsin, James Madison. Wisconsin had a good showing against Purdue and ended up actually winning on that tip-in and then losing in the Big Ten championship, I believe. But one where we look at this matchup against James Madison, I do think Wisconsin prevails. Okay, and I think I have Wisconsin as my only 5 seed, beating a 12. All right, Nebraska, Texas A&M. I got to go with Texas A&M. Love what they can do. All right, and this will be a very fascinating matchup having Houston play Texas A&M. Okay, but now let's go back to where it all started. UConn Northwestern, we're going to go with the Huskies getting that one done. UAB over Auburn, that's going to be interesting, but we're going to go with Auburn setting up for a 1 versus 4 in the Sweet 16. Okay, BYU, Illinois. I got to tell you, I really do like what Illinois was able to put together in the Big Ten tournament. In one where I look into this game, and I think Illinois is playing really good basketball right now, so we're going to ride with the Illini. Drake, Iowa State. Okay, it's one where I think Drake could be that 10 seed that makes some noise, but we are going to be taking Iowa State in this matchup. Okay. Next, let's go down the list. North Carolina, Mississippi State. I know this is long and tedious, but guys, bear with me. We're getting it done. We're going to get this one knocked out, and I'll show you guys who I'm crowning as a champion. If you're still with me, make sure you guys all subscribe down below. All right. North Carolina, Mississippi State. We're going to be going with the Tar Heels. Grand Canyon, Alabama. That's one where I really love to take Grand Canyon in a spot, but I just think Sears and company, we're going to go with the class. We're going to go with Alabama setting up for another nice 1-on-4 matchup. Okay, New Mexico, Baylor. Okay, this is going to be interesting because I really want to take New Mexico in this. 26-9 on the season. Baylor 23-10 in the Big 12. All right, and it's one where New Mexico can definitely play some basketball. They have a very good squad, beating San Diego State by 18, beating Utah State. I think it's one where we look into this play, and I think New Mexico has a shot to pull the upset. Okay, I truly, truly do. We look at what they're able to put together. But Baylor's no slouch. They beat Iowa State. But it's one where I think we're going to go with a little bit of an upset here. I know Baylor can really turn it on, get physical, play a different style of basketball with the press, so on and so forth. But we're going to go with New Mexico forming the upset. All right. And this is one where now we set up a New Mexico-Long Beach State matchup in the Sweet 16. So let's just get weird. Let's just get absolutely weird. And I really want to take Long Beach State in this one. They've been playing some good basketball, and I really truly do want to take the beach here. But I think that's one where we look at what New Mexico's able to do. They're going to be one of the teams that I think advances and knocking off the 15 seed. Okay. Next, let's go on the other side where we have Texas, Tennessee. I like Tennessee in that contest. Creighton, I think I'm going to take Creighton over the Ducks. Kansas, McNeese. This is one where we're going to get weird. We're going to go with McNeese beating out Kansas 12-4. Purdue, TCU. It's going to be interesting. I love what Zach Edey is going to be able to do. I think this is one where we look at the health of Purdue and this possibly being a matchup issue. And I really want to take TCU again. I truly do. But we're gonna ride with the Boilermakers, and hopefully they can get it done in advance. Okay. Next, let's get up to the Florida Marquette, where we have Florida taking out Marquette. Texas Tech, Kentucky. We're going to be riding with the Wildcats once more. That's going to set up an outstanding, fascinating game to watch with Kentucky, Florida, a rematch of that game. Wisconsin, Duke. We're going to go with the Dukies winning that one. And then Houston A&M. Okay, this is one that's interesting. I think Houston gets it done, and they turn it on in this tournament. A&M is playing a very, very good style of basketball, but I like Houston to advance, and I'm going to be taking Houston to get it done against Duke as well. All right. UConn against Auburn. We're going to go with UConn getting it done in that regard. Okay, and this is when it gets fun. Illinois, Iowa State. Okay, we're going to be taking Iowa State. They have a very good style of basketball. I know it's chalky. Okay, and then on the other side of this, we're going to go with the Gators getting it done against Kentucky. I think that's something where we look at this matchup. They did it once, and they can do it again. All right. Next, we're going to go down North Carolina, Alabama. I want to go with Alabama winning this one. I think they just have a way better team personally. And if they can get it on from behind the arc, I think they can get it done and beat the Tar Heels. Okay. New Mexico, Alabama. We're going to go with Bama as a 4 seed. Purdue, we're going to take them beating McNeese. And then we're going to get Tennessee outlasting Creighton. And this is where I see Purdue going down. So we're going to take Tennessee upsetting Purdue, as well as a rematch setting up within the SEC on opposite sides of the Final Four. Okay. Oop. Let me zoom out. Sorry about that. And then here we go. When we talk about Houston, Florida, I see Houston going as well as UConn. So a little chalky, but we do have that Tennessee 2 seed and the Alabama 4 seed. Okay, then we got UConn, Alabama, and it's one where I'm going to be taking the Huskies to get back to the dance. Okay, and I really, truly like what Houston's going to be able to do. Okay, and I think we're going to get that UConn Husky, that chalk on chalk, 1-versus-1. It's very unlikely. Historically, it doesn't happen, but I think these are the 2 best teams in college basketball. I think they have 2 easy paths, and I think that we look at this game and the potential for UConn to repeat, and that's where we're going to be taking the Huskies with a repeat. Okay, I'm sticking with my guns, okay, and crowning the champion. And just for the sake of argument, we're going to do this with a final score of 144 total in the championship game, okay? With an actual prediction, we're going to get down to a 76-68 win. That will be how we get to 144 for the Huskies, winning 76-68, outlasting Houston. Probably a little bit too many points, but it's one where the over, I think, in the actual championship games have been very successful. So that's what we're going to be doing. So lock it in. That's my official bracket. As always, guys, this is my bracket of integrity, so I will not be making another one, but I want to know what you guys are doing. So please let me know down below in the comments. Where are you guys at within this bracket? Have you guys filled one out? Who's going to win it all? Who's going to be in your Final Four? Let me know down below in the comments, and make sure you guys all subscribe on your way out if you have not yet done so. I appreciate you guys rocking with me for this 20-plus minutes where we broke down the bracket. Good luck in the tournament. We're going to be having daily coverage, though, breaking down against the spreads and my picks, leans for every game and round along the way. So thanks again. Really appreciate you guys being part of the channel. Giveaway details will be to come. Probably tomorrow I'll put something out on X. So make sure you guys all subscribe here, as well as follow me on Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it, and enter the contest because we're going to do that live randomization probably Tuesday or Wednesday evening. All right. Thanks again, guys. We'll see you guys all in the next video.